Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to our next era of the Dungeon Crawl channel. Um, by next era, I mean we are now in the timeline of the Crawl Cosplay Sudden Death Tournament. Um, you can Google this to get your full rules and figure it all out, but basically, for the next 5 weeks, there'll be one randomly generated combination to play, and there's other external rules, and basically based on your sudden death performance you get points allocated, and then your week to week points are tallied up, and then it's a final standings. So I'll just describe it from and talk about what this week's all about and what's surrounding this week, and then we'll get into the character that we'll probably be doing over the next few episodes if everything goes well. So bear in mind, we're going to be talking a little bit to start, and I saw I'm a little peaking here, so I turned my volume down maybe a tad. I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, Crawl Sudden Death Tournament. Sudden Death part of it basically means, I mean, maybe it's even here. You get weekly points. You get a point if you get a unique killed. You get a point if you enter a multi-level branch of the dungeon. You get a point if you reach the end of a multi-level dungeon, so including dungeon itself. If you champion a god, if you collect a rune, if you collect 3 or more runes, if you pick up an Orb of Zot, and if you win. And then each week has 2 bonuses. And then on top of that, you have one-time bonuses that often align to the bonuses of the week. And so basically, you take a look at the character you get, like you're required to do, the combination that is, and then you see what gods they let you do, and you think, okay, maybe this, maybe that. Although when you open up the dungeon and actually play the game, you might not get your ideal combo, but like you can kind of think of what you're going to do. And then also you should align whatever these bonuses are to whatever the mega condition is. And kind of the summary of it is that you can see that there's 6 one-time bonuses. Each one of these first 5 often align with one set of complete bonuses. And then this last one is like the N in addition part, where if you can get to a rune and get a rune without using a scroll or a potion, you get this bonus, like this extra points. This is actually the hardest part. So for example, let's take a look at this week. This is this is the mid to late day of the Friday, and it came out like midnight the night before. So it goes to show how hard it is. Reds on this chart show that people have died already. And green, someone's won, and they were able to do one of the 2 bonuses. If we take a look at the main chart, you can see that they didn't get any specialty bonuses, but good for them. Just winning is magical, because some of these random combinations are very hard. So yeah, let's just take a look at what we're dealing with this week. So the character's a Naga Alchemist, so that's pretty darn hard. Nagas are hard to start because they're very slow. Now they do sync well with alchemy in their aptitudes, but alchemists are a tough start, especially if you can't like run like a, and like not only can you not run at 1 speed, you're slower than 1 speed. And so, this is a very tough start. And then the bonus 1 is you have to reach the end of layer, with your experience level being less or equal to 12. So basically, there might be some level of diving. I've in the past for this particular bonus, I haven't needed to dive per se. Maybe you're like midway through layer, and it's like, okay, let me just quickly jump down 2 levels and then trigger this bonus and then come back to normal. The bonus 2 is the hard one, though. Collect a rune with all base skills less than 11. So you have to make sure that you never pass 10 with any skill before getting this rune. And then you have the choices of gods of Quaz, Eli, and Gozag. So my obvious concern with this one is which god. Quaz is a powerful god, but you kind of need good invocation to do Quaz effectively. And if you're capping your base skills at 10 or less, Quaz is not going to be a big like thing for you, at least while still trying to do bonus 2. Ellie is just a healer. I actually don't really ever play with Ellie, but I suppose it's cool. And then Gozag's like a really strong god. You stop getting certain things, but you get gold. But remember, you with Gozag, you're asking him to drop like potions to you, and so if you're gonna be Gozag, that means you cannot do the ascetic rune that week. So that's just a note. Now, obviously, if we have to get to the end of lair for the bonus point, you can't do the no lair win today. The win with less than 40k turns is live, I would call it, although it's very difficult, especially for something like a poison character, because it takes time for the poison to kill. So that's not likely. The full zig is for sure probably not likely. But I suppose it's possible. I'm not a zigger, so I've never done a full zig, so this is something not even considering. So like I'm not someone who can get all the points and max out and stuff. I'm just trying to live. But like this is something maybe someone would do on this game. But it's worth noting, getting what is this, Zot less than so I think it's just entering Zot, enter Zot at XL 20 or lower. That strongly aligns to the whole like we're doing stuff before our levels. It doesn't mean it has to be this game, but like it's more and also there's a 15 rune win one. Now the way to think about it is that you're gonna, if you want to get max points, you have to do one of these a week, basically, because it's pretty hard to do 2 of these at the same time. Maybe your 15 rune win can be on the full zig day, for example. Obviously you can't no lair win if you're 15 runes. So I guess your goal is like to be one of the weeks get ascetic, and then maybe full zig and 15 rune win on a really potent day, and then you have to do 1 week per these other 3. I suppose technically these two could go together, but anyway, really you're bound by your weekly bonus because that's something you're locked to in for a specific character. And so I think I'm going to go into this trying to do bonus 1 and 2, Naga, Alchemist, and probably Gozag, but then you have to react live. And so end of the spiel, that's the situation. I believe there's some other interesting rules. I don't know what these banners are. I don't know what these are. I wonder if this is something else. I just know that there's like a reset point. You get the bonus point when you max out on the god, except for with Gozag or Zom. So I think Gozag you just get just by having it. So that's another aspect of just being Gozag. I just want to double check. Okay, here it is. Your first .33 game started on an official server with it all set up is the allowed attempt, but subject to this. You get 1 redo per week if your first death is with the player less than 5 level. So once, and you only get 1 of them. And you have to immediately start the next one, and then whatever the highest is. So basically, once you're past once you hit XL5, that's your character. And you get 1 redo. All right, so just with all that context in mind, this is the first week of this, so I'm going a little bit more in depth. I'm just going to move this to the side. Always have it as reference to the right on your, or wherever you're on your screen if you have a good setup. And we're going to get going here. Okay. So start .33. And we have to be a Naga and a Alchemist. Okay, so here we go. So this, I'm going to take very slowly. Technically, until otherwise, our min-win, our 40k or less turn count, is technically live. So I don't know if I'm going to force that. I'm not a low turn count player. Um, and so I guess I'm going to default into be a Conjuration Alchemy and probably shift off of that on a case-by-case basis. Um, and just play it like that until I'm otherwise proven otherwise. So remember, we can't have a base skill 11 or higher. So just to be very careful, I'm just gonna what am I doing here? Make sure we're capped out at 10 for everything that we are trading. Just to be sure. So yeah, collect a rune with all base skills less than 11. Okay, and so I'm just going to play the game normal, and then if I need to dive at a certain point to get to the end of layer, I will do so. Everything else is bonus. Now, Nagas, just as a note, we have some tough skin. We're a barding class. We have built-in C and Viz. We have R poison built in. I can spit poison, although that's not really a consistent thing. And I move slowly. And then eventually I'll be able to swing at my tail. And then Alchemist, we do a lot of like poison-based. Well, we are the poison-based starting. Okay. Here's a store. It's always nice to get that support. I guess I'll note I'm almost certainly not going to be an orc bow player, but I'll note it. Okay, let's head over here. Okay, now we have a weapon to at least help along. This will be nice, a sling. It's kind of annoying I didn't pick that up. I'm not usually a low turn count player. So it's a little awkward for me sometimes. So G is certainly better than just a club, I believe. So I can just do that. Nice, we got some poison darts. That'll help things out. So we have an earth staff. Might come in handy if we end up swapping to like conjuration based magic. We do have some conjuration. With our Mercury Arrow onward. And remember, we're capping everything at 10, so it's going to be a very spread out kind of aptitude situation. So that's going to be weird. It's almost going to be like we're self-imposing a kind of NaAl-like experience to ourselves. Because this is sudden death, I'll even pick up stones. You never know. Though I won't move manually my way out towards them if I need to. Okay, so D1 is done. Nothing much to note. We've learned everything that we can learn. We do have some resources here. All right. Well then, so because we have to do specific gods, this altar is not available to us, but I will take a look here. Is there anything I can just shoot off the top? I'm not afraid of anything here, but I'd like to take out a few at a time here. Let's go for the goblin. Okay, that guy's a little scary. Can I spit? I can spit, so I'm going to spit because he has a dagger holy wrath. Cool. Alright, so let's pick up that dagger. Let's look at the book. So we got some translocation stuff. Oh yeah, and forgive me, I've a bit of a cough today, so I may be drinking a little water here and there. Yeah, not much there to work with, I would say. But, you know, we'll play the game. Now remember, until you absolutely have to use scrolls and potions, including identification potions, or identification scrolls, you should try to hold off for the aesthetic rune. I'm going to go int. This will be a Kiku? No, it's just a style choice. This will be a crazy U if that's the trees that I'm thinking of. I'm gonna pull back. Let's try to pull back. I've been training stealth, so that should help. Now they are mighted. Try to take out the mighted ones as quickly as possible. All right. And remember, we're trying to reach the end of layer before XL12. We're a little far off from that, so there's no rush. Oh, I should probably check. Yeah, the helmet. There you go. You always want to be efficient with your moves, but it's like, oops, I forgot to pick up the helmet. That's clearly going to be there. I think we're in leather. Oh, we've been shafted. Oh, two floors. I still want to recover back up. Even though we're doing this whole thing, I don't like diving early. I'd rather dive late. It's easier to dive 3 levels of layer than 3 levels of dungeon, you know, pre-10. But that wasn't favorable, in my opinion. Okay, so we got pass wall. That's kind of nice. Hibernation. None of these are really jumping off the wall here. I think I can Mephetic just to learn it. But we're trying to find our ups because we were shafted. And we're still XL4. But we're getting real close to our cut pot, our point of no return. Okay, we found an up. Let's take a look. Water is very scary early game because there can be eels. And I'm seeing a lot of water. A lot of water. So here's our stair. I'm just going to head right back up and carry along. This demonstrates, by the way, the power of just like a sling. You can kill a lot of like D1 through 4 things without any sling training or range training. So if you want to have a source of like infinite ranged attack, it's often pretty okay. It does involve dex, but you know, I only have 11 dex. That's not that much. And remember, with Naga, you have to move forward if you're melee, and so you'll be slow. So ranged lets you do stuff at regular speed. Well, not regular speed, but like a speed that, because you know it's attacking slower, but you're doing something is the point. Okay, I think I should carry on over here. Ooh, a lot of stuff. Let's do some AoE hits. Let's go from behind here. Buckler. Yeah, bucklers are great, especially since we're capped at 8. Let's put it on. Not too bad. Now we've got defense, and it's something we can train that's less than 10. While we spread that stuff out. Ooh, okay. He's got a 7 sword of speed. Oh my. And I really don't want to use any potions. So I think I have to poison. It misses. Oh no. Um, Mercury arrow. Okay. Whoa. Guys, they're trying to kill us. And that attack, now we're officially into level 5. But look at that. Wow. Let's see. W 12. So I'm pretty sure that's our default melee weapon now, for now. Wow. So W becomes A. I don't think we go into like short... Well, I mean... This is weird. We actually can be stealthy in a sense. Does that line well with Gozag? Not necessarily not. Certainly Quaslol. Like that completely abandons that idea. But stealth does line well with like quick wins and reaching places before you're supposed to. That's an interesting question to do. Well, the good news is short blades work well low, so I could probably do that. I'll leave the stealth as is, but then once we're past this checkpoint of collect a rune with less than 11, then we can release our personal restrictions and you know, go hard into one or two things while still trying to get into Zot by XL20 or less. I believe it's or less. I'll double check when it matters, but so we've cleared all of our D2. And we'll go down again. At a certain point, we might just be throwing our spells out at range just by default, and then having the sword by default on. But until then, I'll still throw out like a shot of my ranged ability. It has better reach than our poisons right now. Eventually, we can take advantage of Olgrib's. We'll be going down a dead hole, dead end there. I'm just so surprised we were able to kill that Terrence at all, especially since first action spit failed. We were on, oh my god, look at all that turn count lost. It's not necessarily that we're going to be a turn count character. Like, that's, I'm not expecting that. But until you prove yourself otherwise, being it or not being it, you should play smart to open up all scenarios for you. And the reason why I'm like manually walking is there's sometimes it's like you have two tiles unknown, but like you're not going to get anything in those two tiles. Like for example, if I wanted to, well, I'll just do that, but like perhaps I didn't need to walk straight like that because I don't need to care about those three tiles that were blacked out. But like if you did the auto walk, it would have spent all the time to get there and see every single black spot it can. So I kind of made a bad choice in like I'm clearing the middle and I'm gonna have to head right and up and to the left. So that's not very efficient turn tile moving. So I suppose I'll try my best to be efficient here. Why isn't it letting me hit him? There you go. Can I swim? No, Nagas can't swim. Like, this is awkward. I can't really... I'll have to break... Okay. There you go. It was quick enough. Sometimes it takes, like, 10 turns to break a plant. Alright, so that's just an up. Let's go here. And then we'll work our way down the line here on the way back. Yeah. This was me trying to recover optimal movement. A Sigmund. I'll just not do that today for now. Probably ever. Especially as long as the turn count is live. Alright, we got a grinder. I'll spit. I'll swap to the sword. Nice sword. Grinder, very scary. You saw that. I went around the corner and immediately got paralyzed without warning. Okay, so we just finished D3 in a pretty... I mean, it's not the most optimal, but it is what it is. We're training. Just let's triple check. Nothing's training beyond 10. We're XL6. It's 12 or lower to get the points. And we're past the 30-minute mark, and so we'll call this episode 1 of this Dungeon Crawl Sudden Death Tournament Naga Alchemist, trying to go win some points. And so thanks for watching, and tune in next time where I'll carry on this character. We'll see.